Welcome back to the Have Not Room. I am Ben here with Chad and Brian to talk about the finale of Big Brother 27 and the winner of the season, Ashley Hollis, who Brian is Brian's winner pick from the preseason. We've been on a dry spell, but Brian joins me and Chad. We now each have correctly picked one winner apiece. Chad picked Cody on Big Brother 22. I picked Xavier on Big Brother 23, and now Brian.
We started so hot. Those were the first two seasons we covered.
Yeah.
Bam, and then just nothing until now. BB 27.
I mean, look, that's 3 out of 6 seasons we've correctly predicted the winner. I think that should count for something.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Definitely true. And I mean, we've had like the other seasons where we got close with like Celebrity Big Brother and BB Can, where all of us almost picked the winner for BB Can 9. But yeah, no, so excited. I was so pumped. Shades of Steve Moses winning BB 17. I don't think I've had this much excitement for a finale since BB 17. So what a night. And, you know, I actually liked the mastermind stuff. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I thought it was fun. And yeah, Ashley, she won. She deserved it. Great social game and won when she needed to, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we can go through all of the individual pieces of what Ashley has been doing, because I know that a big complaint, you know, a lot of people, including me, have had is that the edited show is not doing a great job of showing her gameplay, even down the stretch here when she's been driving a lot of the strategy, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So, yeah, we can go through some of that. And then we also have like a ton to talk about. You talk about the mastermind stuff. It's just like peak Big Brother camp. We have HOH part 2 we can talk about. We have Vince's like crash out, you know, tantrum thing he had. So yeah, I mean, let's start there, because I think there's not really much to talk about with part 1. It was not a super exciting comp. Morgan just kind of won it. But part 2 was we got some intrigue here. Frankie coming in to host, later revealed to be one of the trio of masterminds. But here, just a host of the unmasking of the mastermind who was Dr. Will getting framed. Yeah, Chad, what were your thoughts here on this competition and and Vince not getting reading the instructions correctly and blowing what's been described as a 15 to 20 minute lead?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward comp. That, you know, just got to solve the puzzle, and having that crazy of a lead and then blowing it. I mean, the meltdown I feel like was more than just him blowing the comp. It was just like a summarization of everything he did wrong this season and realizing like, yeah, there's no way I can win this season no matter what I do. So
yeah.
And you could even tell, like, with him just saying, I just want second place. Like, at that point, he just wanted some money. So there's something to hang his hat on when he got home. So it's just like, man, we haven't seen a meltdown like that on Big Brother in a while. I can't think of the last one. But, yeah, I mean, it was his game to lose. So he's glad he should be glad he even got second at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get where the mistake came from, but I don't get how he got stuck on the mistake for so long. Like when he was like, those are the right days, why didn't he reread the instructions? I don't, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ashley also made the same mistake, but she much more quickly realized the mistake and then addressed it. But I mean, it makes sense, I guess, given that like there were spots on each one for 2 digits, and the actual solution, most of them were going to be 1-digit numbers, except for like 1 or 2 of them maybe. So I think that like that combined with the fact that usually on Big Brother, when you're, you know, past events, it's almost always to do with what day the thing happened. It makes sense to have like, you know, made that like initial mistake, but I agree, like there's just
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I go away completely.
For me, it's Benny that's freezing.
Okay, yeah, Ben is frozen as well for me. But yeah, well, hopefully Ben will be able to come back on. But in the meantime, oh Ben, there you are. He's back. He's back
Okay.
now.
I couldn't tell if that was just me or that was everyone.
I think it's just you this time.
Okay, well that's phenomenal. Well, I was just gonna say, like, this was like, we had the Big Brother Amazing Race crossover happening right now, and this is shades of like Amazing Race when the teams were like doing a task wrong because they didn't read their clue properly. That's what this reminds me of. So
Yeah, it was crazy. It was unfortunate. Vince really didn't handle it well in any metric. And like, I think this is a good reminder in life, building furniture, even if you're going to get super frustrated, it's not going to lead to anything good. Sometimes you just need to take a step back, see what's going wrong, and then attack it. Because if you panic and start, freaking out, it's just going to be so much worse.
yeah.
Bad luck.
Yep. I do think that also this is kind of feeding into like a general trend of this finale in this like last week of game where we have, Vince choking in part 2 and then Morgan then choking in part 3. And it feels like at least a contributing factor to this could be the fact that they have gotten maybe like 2.5 hours of sleep on average for the last month and a half. Probably not a great way to keep your mind sharp for these end game mental competitions. And also having to like pitch your case to a jury in real time. Also something that would probably be a lot easier to do on at least a few more hours of sleep a night and not staying up until 5 a.m. arguing, cuddling, complaining, sometimes strategizing every single day for weeks on end.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, because I think when you're in that kind of a state, sleep deprived, you can all spiral, snowball really quickly. And I think like Survivor, it's kind of like that's a built-in part of it. You're not going to sleep that well on a beach on bamboo. Big Brother, the one thing about it is like you could sleep really well. Like if you're Ava, you can sleep more than probably you do normally, I would hope. And yeah, they just chose not to. And as with like everything, and we said this on Friday, Ben, when we did a show, Vince is just his own worst enemy with everything.
Yeah, I mean, his own worst enemy, and in this case, dragged Morgan down with him. So, this is a really interesting. And then, as me and Brian talked about on Friday, this was like coming back from the feeds and seeing that Ashley had won part 2. This was the moment for me. Was like, oh my God, Ashley is going to win the season. Because for weeks, it's been kind of like the consensus idea that like Morgan was the favorite to win. And this was basically based around this concept that like Ashley was not going to be able to win a part 1 or a part 2. I think, at least personally, I always had a very high, belief that she could win part 3. It's just a matter of getting there. And maybe in hindsight, we underrated her win equity. Or maybe it's just like a results-oriented thing, given that she did end up winning part 2. But like it really did seem like we've kind of been in a situation for weeks now where all Ashley had to do to win the game was win one of part 1 or part 2, and she was just home free. And so maybe like on a rewatch or maybe like on a reanalysis, that could be something to think about, or even in the future, something to think about like that. On any given Sunday, like even if you're not winning comps consistently, given enough opportunities, you're going to get one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like too crazy for us to have like not really believed in Ashley to win these comps. Like in BB17, because the situations are so similar. Like Steve, I have his stats up right now. He won 4 HOHs. He won 2 vetoes. He won a battle of the block. Like Steve could win comps. Like it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities. Ashley won the first veto and then just didn't win anything else, and really wasn't like super close with anything else. So like, I think we even said here, it's like, well, we want Ashley to win. We like hope she can get to the end, but she has not shown us that she's going to be great at these comps. And it did take Vince completely melting down for her to get the W, but
right.
Like you said, Ben, any given Sunday, especially with these final HOHs where you get 2 chances to get to the actual comp, and that actual comp is a one-on-one crapshoot, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't say it's. I would say that the part 2 is the
right. Yeah.
The part 3. The modern part 3 is like very, very gameable.
It's true.
And like as I thought, like I mean, watching Morgan and Ashley study for part 3 on the feeds, it was becoming extremely apparent to me that Ashley was like severely favored to win, because Morgan was like not studying. Well, first of all, we can talk about like Morgan did not spend a ton of time studying because she spent most of the last few days of the season arguing with Vince, and Vince trying to convince her to take him to the final 2. But the times that she did spend studying, she was often oscillating between incorrect or confused or like forgetful about a number of things that happen in the house that should be kind of like level 1 or 2 kind of days studying things that you would kind of have down. Whereas like Ashley was pretty consistently on point for a lot of her studying from what I had seen. And that played out in part 3.
Ashley is a lawyer. She went to Georgetown. Mm-hmm. She knows how to study.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, that was her superpower. Like Morgan talking about being a gamer and stuff. Well, Ashley has spent her whole life studying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, studying and like crafting arguments, speeches and stuff like that.
Dude, has to be like the best final like speech I've ever seen. I haven't watched every season of Big Brother. I've only been here since BB 14 live, but like, wow, I was blown away. She crushed that.
Yeah, I would say it's up there. I think that like in other comparison points, like I think that like surface level, the Steve and Vanessa comparison, I understand why people are making that. I made it myself to a degree, even leading up to this. I was saying like, man, Morgan is gonna, have the Vanessa storyline. But for me, like the end game to me felt very like BB Can 6X, and that's also a comparison I've seen as well. And that's also something that I was thinking about leading up to this end game, where on that season, Paris went to the final 3 with a showmance, Kayla and Derek, who had strategically ran most of the back half of the game and had won most of the comps. They were doing similar thing that Vince and Morgan did, trading off HOHs. Whereas Paris won her first comp win was the final 4 veto, and then she won the final 3 HOH. And then she took Kayla and she won in a 6-1 vote, where Derek was the only vote for Kayla to win. So there's also a lot of parallels there, where, the jury on BB Can 6 was not very happy with the way that Kayla sent a lot of them out of the game. And they thought that she was kind of heartless in a lot of ways of how she dealt with them, and like kind of treated them like business plays as opposed to like people. And then I'm a big Kayla fan. I think Kayla Grant is great, but like this is the perception. And then also Paris in the final 2 speech gave an incredible speech. One of I would say probably the second best speech in BB Can history after Kevin Jacobs. So yeah, there's a lot of parallels there as well, where it's like if you can craft a narrative to a jury that is open to hearing you, like the jury has to be open to being told like a story. But if you tell them the story that they're primed to hear, and you tell it in a really compelling way, like that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just so like crazy how we went from that round table where I felt like Rachel was kind of like almost pushing for Vince to just like Vince straight up being laughed at.
Yeah.
At the final. I mean, listen, Ashley crushed him. I don't think there's any argument about that. I think Vince made the best pitch that he could have given his game. You don't think? All right. Well, how would you have done it better for him?
I think his closing statement was good, and that was where when he made his closing statement, I was like, oh, maybe he could actually win like a vote or two back here. But his answers to the questions were just incongruous with the way that the jury saw the game and him as a player. You had, like, for instance, like both Keanu and Kelly's questions to him trying to tease out of him an admission that his gameplay was built on emotionally manipulating people. And it was, like, very clearly it was. And he, in both questions back to back, refused to take any amount of accountability for the fact that he manipulated people emotionally. And it was just, he was just like, that's just who I am. And it's like, okay, well, if that's just who you are, then you're an emotional manipulator. I'm sorry. Like there's like, either he's lying or he's so self-unaware to have even like been able to articulate his gameplay in a way that's palatable to the jury. And so I disagree. I think that this might be one of the biggest disparities between final questioning performances in Big Brother history. Like it's like a 9 out of 10 versus like a 2 out of 10 for me.
I guess maybe I focused in too much on that last one because I do think like the argument here for Vince, the only potential argument he has, and the jury was very anti-Vince, is like, look, you're all mad at me, but I was the one who made everything happen. Well, Ashley was passive. Like I was the active member of the game where Ashley was a passive member of the game. Outside of a couple of moves, she flipped the vote on Will. She was able to win the final HOH, but sure. I was the one who actually had to take these hits because I was out there winning competitions, and I don't think I could have possibly gotten to the end if I didn't win those competitions. Whereas like Ashley got to the end without having to actually get her hands dirty. I don't know if that would have been a winning argument, but that's like the only argument you really had.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have just owned it, which he wouldn't have anyway, but like a player like that, if you just own your game and say, yeah, I used my emotions and your emotions against you and played you, and then 4 HOHs, which is what he bragged about all season after he won the 4th one, and then you could also just say, I had Morgan too in my back pocket, and she was winning comps, keeping me safe too. It's like I think if Vince could have articulated it better, which again he wouldn't have because he is who he is. Like I think he probably could have flipped the whole jury, albeit a few votes. I mean, it would have been a very, very, very long shot. But I mean, overall, Vince's resume is way better than Ashley's. It's just Ashley is, 1, a lawyer, 2, cut the other player that maybe could have beat her. If again, that would have depended on Morgan's speeches, and just like made an incredible move right at the end. But I think that's the main reason why Ashley won is the argument, and Vince couldn't sell himself. / no one likes Vince. So it's like, but if you just own that, it's. I mean, I don't know who to compare Vince to really, in terms of like this kind of gameplay. Maybe Benny would know as a historian.
Yeah, it's hard. it's hard because like there's not like a clean comparison, and this is like something that like a lot of people struggle with all season is trying to find that comparison point to Vince, because there's not really somebody who's like
Paul comes to mind, but Paul was very different.
Yeah, I think Paul's like the closest. Paul's the closest. Like Paul 2.0 is the closest, I think.
Yeah, but he mostly just like pissed people off rather than like people were like emotionally upset with him. It's like a different. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like a different type of bitterness. It's similar insofar as like BB19 Paul to acknowledge the like moves that he was making throughout the season, and like in particular. Like the narrative that Paul was giving in goodbye messages, and then also that he carried over into his Jerry speech, was the idea that like I didn't want you to go, right? Like my hands were tied, like, you know, it was everyone else that wanted you to go, to like people like Mark and Elena and like Matt and Raven and stuff like that. Like it was like, oh, it was, you know, the house wanted it, and I just had to go along with it. You know, if I had it my way, then we would have been sitting in the final three together. Like that was the sort of narrative that Paul kept on pushing that season, and that was the main thing that pissed people off, because it was clear that Paul was the one that was driving the strategy and that was controlling the game, but like the lack of accountability, or the lack of saying like I took you out. I thought that like it was best for my game to take you out. I didn't want to take you any further. Like you could even flip it on its head and use that as a way to flatter people, to be like, hey, you know, I didn't want to take you deep into the game. I thought you were a bigger threat. I didn't want to have to face off to you in the end game. Like there's so many ways you can play like this that, you know, doesn't piss people off. Like it's in doubt. It's so simple.
Channel Todd from Survivor China talking to Jean Robert.
Yeah, I mean that's the ultimate example. Yeah.
Yeah. Just lather praise upon the people that you destroyed, and maybe you'll win.
Yeah, I mean, respecting you as a player and being bitter and hating you, it's like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I don't think that people were bitter at Vince. I think that like I think that's an oversimplification of why people didn't want to vote for Vince. I think it's a very like easy oversimplification, because that's like a kind of easy like way to like distill what happened. But like realistically, like Vince had a lot of control throughout the season, but the things he did with that control were horrible. Like he repeatedly over and over again grabbed power and then used that power to negatively affect his game, to make his position in the game worse, to eliminate people who were willing to protect him for no reason, to bring somebody like Morgan down to an end game, who at the very end was very easily convinced to turn on him and would have voted him out if she had won the final HOH. You know, when Vince is winning HOHs, and with those HOHs, all he's doing is, you know, putting Lauren on the block for no reason, just to satiate what Morgan wants. You know, evicting Catherine, who is like a complete non-entity in the game, as opposed to like actually using his power to take out a real threat. You know, like there wasn't a single thing that Vince did with power throughout the game that actually improved his position. He repeatedly made terrible decisions. He executed horrible strategy, and he basically just got bailed out by like good luck, like, you know, good coin flips going his way. He puts Lauren on the block, he wins the blockbuster. If Lauren doesn't win the blockbuster, there's a good chance she goes home there, and the entire double eviction plays out in a way that's even worse for him than it did. Like there's just very little that Vince did to actually have a positive impact. It was him making bad decisions and then getting bailed out by being lucky. That was like repeatedly the you know, his strategy. And winning comps alone, if you don't do anything good with it, is not how you win Big Brother. And then on top of that, obviously, as he's evicting people, Brian and I went over this on Friday. It was brought up multiple times during a jury questioning that he would make up completely unnecessary lies and give people false hope that he didn't need to. Like there wasn't like like there wasn't like ways for them to wriggle out of it if they just knew they were going home. These were people that are completely dead to rights. There's no outs for them at all. And down to the second that they're leaving the house, he's still lying to them. Like basically, as he's casting his vote to evict them, he's telling them that he's keeping them safe. And it's like there's no value in that at all. It doesn't give you anything. It doesn't provide you anything other than people who are just leaving the house with their hands up. Like, well, were you lying to me or are you incompetent? Like those are the two options.
Right.
Like, were you just like making up lies to me for no reason, or are you a horrible player? And in Vince's case, it's both.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of lucky that he got second place at this.
No, he's insanely lucky that he got second place. Okay, the Catherine week where his second HOH week, right, where he doesn't put up Rachel and he tries to stick out with the judges. If that was the case, if like the White Locust twist had not happened, Vince is not seeing this end game. Like he made a horrible play. Like he played his second HOH completely atrociously, one of the worst I've ever seen. Evicted somebody that was not a threat to him at all, and then got bailed out by a twist. And then afterwards, he played his third HOH, horrible, absolutely terrible. He got bailed out by comp results the following round. It's like there's just no scenario where any decision that Vince made throughout the game was correct. He repeatedly made horrible mistakes, horrible decisions, and got bailed out by twists and good luck.
Yeah. And as Jenny says in the chat, Vince saying something along the lines of him being a non-manipulative person made
Jenny and Kelly.
Just own it, man.
Yeah.
Kelly also laughed at that openly. When Kelly is looking, is correctly laughing at something stupid you're saying, like you failed as a player.
That's not good. That's the worst thing ever.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
When I'm watching and I'm like seeing Kelly laugh at you and I'm agreeing with Kelly, like you've lost.
Yeah, that's
So bad.
real bad spot to be in. Oh
So
man.
bad.
Yeah, so God. I mean, he's his own worst enemy. He did it all to himself. He's lucky he got second place. $75,000. That's like a year's salary at a decent
He
job.
said it's the most money he's ever seen. So
Yeah, that's
I mean,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, I guess I believe he said he was a
All at
delivery
once,
guy,
maybe.
but yeah, all at once for sure. But like, did he like work in tech or something before he quit to be unemployed for Big Brother?
I don't know what he was doing before he quit. I think he had a desk job. Yeah, like a
Yeah,
kind of.
that's what people were saying. Like he's unemployed, but like the same as anybody who leaves. It's more like the character, but yeah. Yeah, and Jenny said, I generally believe he didn't think he was doing the things everyone said he did, and him saying he has self-awareness is just hilarious. Oh, yeah, I mean, one of the least self-aware people ever cast on Big Brother, and there's been a lot of
a lot this season.
A lot this season, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I appreciated what Vince brought to the season. He's a phenomenal character. He was a great antagonist. I think that the Vorgan story, say whatever you want about it, like them as people, very compelling television, at least for me.
Kept the feeds popping.
Yes,
all season.
Until the last second. Like they're literally arguing 14 hours a day on the last day before feeds shut off, and it's like. There's no other season like that where like there's this much going on the last day of the season.
Yeah, normally by this point people are like checked out on the feed.
Yeah, they're checked out. But yeah,
So funny.
I mean, it's a lot. It's I'm glad that we got this. Like this final three was like probably the best final three that we could have hoped for.
Oh yeah.
Coming off the White Locust week, right? I think this was like the like three main like strategists or like people playing the game hard. Like these are the three hardest players of the season, whether or not Vince was doing things that I would consider to be strategically optimal, he was playing hard. Hard does not equal well, but he was playing hard, and he was very passionate about the game, and he was trying very hard to win, even if he was not great in his trying, and his execution was poor. I will always appreciate somebody who plays hard and fails, as opposed to somebody who like an Ava or a Lauren or whoever, who just kind of is irrelevant to the season. Yes, hard does not equal well.
Yeah.
But oh man, I guess we'll probably see Keanu, probably Morgan on the challenge, so that'll be good for them. Unless Morgan's Twitch stream, goes up. But I feel like it can't hurt to be on the challenge and then
New
also
audience.
stream. Yeah, like I would love to see her on that show. I think she'd kick ass on it, as would Keanu. He won America's Favorite Player. I was a little surprised. I thought Rachel at least would cut into that 65% vote share, but I think the casuals carried it super hard.
I mean, I'm not surprised. This is like
this is the guy. If you could like manufacture an America's Favorite Player in a lab, it's Keanu.
Yeah.
I think if Rachel doesn't go out as early as she did, it'd probably be Rachel. But when you have like a month of extra Keanu time, I think that's
and him fighting for his
It
life.
was only 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It was only 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like this feels like I mean they sped this end game up considerably, but yeah, no, I mean it felt much longer.
Very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Well, it's probably closer to 3 weeks because technically Rachel went out early in the week, so it's more like 2.5 to 3 weeks as opposed to. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at all our winner picks, that's the story of the season. I mean, Rachel.
I know it really is.
Like Rachel going out on the most bogus twist ever, and then Keanu being like this like dark horse underdog that everyone wanted to win, but obviously couldn't.
Yeah.
And then
Hey, watch it. Jesse's
Ashley.
gonna come for you, Chad. For saying
yeah, right.
which honestly, in fairness, I do think the coup d'etat is up there for the worst twists, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we nailed it for this season in terms of our picks. I mean, one of us could have won.
Yeah, we did amazing. And I guess let's talk a little bit about the masterminds. I know it was dumb, and I know like Big Brother, it's like campy. I personally like that aspect of the show.
Mhm.
I was really into the reveal of it being 3 masterminds and 3 arguably most screwed over by production twists. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of good that Eric Stein's still like being talked about. I think that's fun. Maybe we'll get him back one day.
Yeah, I definitely did not see it coming. That I kind of like when Frankie came out and did the like rewind week thing. I kind of like got what they were going for, or it's like but I did not see it coming for it to be Eric being the third, especially given that they haven't really acknowledged him since like BB10 or thereabouts. And also, I think like first of all, production acknowledging that they have screwed players over with twists is one thing, but like specifically like them being like, yeah, America's player screwed over Eric, I think is a very not something I ever really expected to have been something that production openly promotes as an idea. So that was very, very surprising to me. And I guess, we're going to be looking for Rachel to come back as the mastermind part 2, or.
Oh my God. I think Rachel might be done with Big Brother.
She seemed to have taken it well, and I think Ashley winning helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not here to try to rationalize what production is doing. It was fun. It was cute. I don't know if we had to spend like 20 minutes of finale on it, but I think like it was. I enjoy when Big Brother is campy in like a fun kind of self-aware way.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was a good season outside of the White Locust twist, which, we've talked enough about. I think for the most part, it was fun. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed covering it this season with you guys. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. Do you guys have more?
No, I think just like really, I just really want to drive home that Ashley had like I talked about it weeks ago. Like I think the week we covered the White Locust twist, where she stays over Will, and talking about that, I said at that time that Ashley was the had the best reads in the house. I think also I said that was the best strategist left in the house by far. And like her gameplay has been apparent for quite a while. Like she had, I'd say, a rough first 3 or 4 weeks getting her feet under herself socially, but I think that she did articulate in her final speech that part of that was deliberate. I think part of it was just her personality, but I think there was an element to it that was deliberate. She came in here with this like Elwood strategy firmly laid out. She talked throughout the season about deliberately making people underestimate her, making people think that she was stupid, making people think that she wasn't playing the game. Like these were deliberate strategies that she was implementing and talking about repeatedly on the feeds to the cameras, basically since week one. And it I guess worked too well because there's a segment of the fan base that like bought into the narrative that she was trying to sell to the other players, despite her talking repeatedly over and over and over again about this narrative that she was deliberately building throughout the season. But because they didn't show that in the episodes, the people who only watch the episodes don't get that, like that this was her playing on purpose. And yeah, down the stretch, she was one of the main strategy, like people driving the strategy, despite not even winning comps, partially because basically there was like a line of strategy that was happening where Ashley was manipulating Morgan and then Morgan was manipulating Vince. And because Morgan and Vince won like 80% of the comps, what Ashley wanted, like I think people like kind of saw the level one of like Morgan is controlling Vince and everything Vince does is what Morgan wants and is what's good for Morgan's game. But I think a lot of people missed the level two to it, which is that like Ashley was the one bringing these ideas to Morgan and getting Morgan to execute her strategy by having Morgan go to Vince and strong arm Vince into doing what's best for Morgan, what was actually best for Ashley. So like there's levels to the way that she was kind of executing some of the social manipulation she was doing. It's very impressive. And I think it really kind of culminated in this final three where she successfully convinced Morgan to bring her to the end over Vince if that was something that had played out, which, as we saw, would have been a mistake. Like it would have taken Morgan from probably a 7-0 sweep to something probably closer to a 4-3, which like Morgan's still probably favored, but like definitely way more up in the air.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, especially with how well Ashley did at her like speed. Who knows? Who knows if like Morgan would have won?
Yeah.
If they sat next to each other, would have been entertaining. But yeah, as Jenny said, super happy for Ashley, my winner pick. I'm so proud she did it. And like, what a story! Going on Big Brother, teaming up with Rachel, and winning the season. Like, what a dream!
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's all of us, I think, probably would have loved to live that dream.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
wow, can't get better than that. So $750K in the bank account. Friends with a BB legend, an icon of the series, and yeah, good stuff. Good for Ashley. What a fun season. Can't wait till we hear whether or not there's a winter season. Kind of hoping there is. I'm certainly down for that. But if there isn't, we certainly have enough to keep cover. Can we get the amazing race that we'll be doing on this feed as well? Probably next week, we'll do like a double episode of the 2 episodes that are out. The Blindsiders, we still have that going on. And then, Meet You at Breakfast will come back when the Traders is back on. And yeah, other than that, scripted stuff, I'm sure there'll be more. Main channel, we could get everything, got videos every week. Those fake nerds videos pretty often, and Wicked Scary videos every week as well. And look out for some more streams, all that stuff. I don't know. Anything you want to plug, Chad?
Oh, you can follow me on all my socials at the handle right down here. And congrats on your winner pick. Congrats to Ashley. And hopefully we come back for another season. And maybe we get involved in some trader stuff. Or I know you guys already do it, but I love it.
Yeah, you can.
I honestly love it more than Big Brother.
We'd love to have you
It's
on
kinda crazy.
anytime you want. To it's such a good show. It's so fun.
I love it.
Yeah. And Ben, anything you want to plug?
No, just check out the Blindsiders stuff and any other coverage we do. Talking about the potential winter season, I know there was speculation in the air about like a shortened all winter season in February. I think one of the biggest hurdles that the show needed to get over to potentially make something like that happen was like a dearth of female winners, and now we have another one to potentially get them over the line. So
the last few seasons is like 3 out of the last 4.
Yeah, and also this is the first time since Big Brother 3/4 where we've got the only other time in Big Brother history we've had back-to-back female winners. So.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Love it. And for all of you, thank you so much for watching this, whether it's live or on podcast feeds or the video on demand. We really appreciate it. Till next time, we've been the Have Not Room, and thank you so much for watching.